On a previous video I did on the lgg4 mobile phone for its known boot loop issue. I did an upgrade a while back, as in I installed some heatsinks, and they appear to have done the job. Equally, I've also used some compound as well, thermal compound, which helped transfer and dissipate the heat from the CPUs, and it seemed to work really well. Now, I've I've installed a benchmarking software called CPU Prime Benchmark. I have never used it, and it's the first time I'm about to give it a go, and it's got a little thing on there that says stress test. So I'm going to give it a go and see what my temperature was. And previously the temperature, if I look at a different app, I think I've already got it running. Let's have a look. Oh good, ding dong. CPU monitor, there we go. Saying my current temperature is 23 degrees Celsius on the CPU, which is okay, so that's fine. But if I do a stress test, like I say, I never tried this, so I'm a bit wary. Calculate prime numbers. Battery temperature. The battery temperature is 23.1 currently, according to this. And then, very reassuringly, it says, I'm not responsible for any damage. So that's a little bit disconcerting. Oh dear. Was it such a good idea? I don't know. But it needs to be done, because I've been asked in a comment on another video. You can find, I'll put a link below to the other video. It shows what I did to the phone. There are other solutions. Apparently the biggest problem with the boot loop issue is where there's a CPU and a CPU on top of each other. Apparently they delaminate from each other, and that's when you start getting the boot loop issue with the screen lock, etc. And you can put an iron on that for about 10 minutes. And effectively it bonds them back together again. But you still have to think that it's just as simple as bonding them back together again. You don't want it happening again. So if you install some heat sinks to keep the temperature down, well then that will obviously, well I say obviously, you would hope that it would maintain a more reasonable temperature where the CPU will not get as hot, thus causing you the boot loop issue. You don't want it to separate again. So mine wasn't that bad, in the sense I didn't get the boot loop issue. All I got was a phone that was pretty much overheating. Now, let's have a look at what's going on here. I'm rabbiting on, aren't I? The CPU temperature is still about the same as 23.2. No, sorry, that's battery temperature, sorry. The phone is warm. It feels a little bit warmer. Let's have a look. Oh, you can't do nothing. No, while it's doing the stress test, you cannot do anything. So, do you really want to sit here and watch this while I'm waiting for it to happen? Or for something to happen? Oh, there you are. That's like it's just slowed up. That's what it is. Let's see what the temperature is now. The temperature is now gone to 23 degrees Celsius. So it has gone up 1 degree from what it was. And if you look here, if you can see the solid banding here, let's bring it a bit closer for you. That's where it's actually loading the CPU. It's doing more work. So the stress test is actually doing something, and the phone is definitely warmer. Now, I've got a thermometer. There we go. Ta-da! Sorry. External temperature, see what the external temperature of the phone is. According to this, it is 27.8 external temperature coming from the battery. That's top. Well, that's the top end area here, and now it's gone to 31 near the top. So we're good. I don't know how accurate this thing's, mind. It's saying here that the CPU is 23 degrees Celsius. they're certainly doing something, as in you can certainly see the actual how busy it is now since I started that test. And okay, it did that. Yes, it did increase temperature, but not excessively. We'll start the benchmark. To see your final results, you must be connected in there. Well, I am. Right, so these are my results from the bench test, and apparently it's 12921. I don't know what that means, as in, yeah. You can't zoom in, so. Oh, I see. Oh, it's comparing it with different devices. Oh god, that's tiny. HTC Desire, Nexus 4, Galaxy S4, so on there, and then it goes to the lgg4, then the Nvidia Shield, and then my device. And my device, like I said, is registering at 12921. So at least it wasn't down the bottom there. But compare it to more of a, I think it might be better to compare it to a more recent phone, really. But there you have it. It seems to be, seems to have helped quite a lot, and it doesn't. Now the actual test has stopped. The stress test. I can feel that the phone is actually cooler than it was a few moments ago. So what's this saying? Yeah, the temperature's going down. So that's at 29.5. Yeah, and the battery area 28.7. But it was going into the 30s, so it's but it's nowhere near as bad as it was. And now if I go into this one here and see what this says here, okay, blah de blah de blah. Open. It's still saying 23 degrees, or 89% processor, 40% processor, 73% processor. 82 is going up, so at the moment you see here is actually increasing in load on the CPU. Still seem to be maintaining a steady temperature of around 23 degrees. Of 23 degrees. So anyway, I don't know what else I can really do. I don't play games or anything like that on it, so the only other sort of test I could do on it would be, I know one thing that tends to be a pain for me, and that's Google Maps. So we can have a look at Google Maps. When you do navigation on Google Maps, so if I put in, say, Paris. Alright, we'll go to the capital city. Maps. Well, you've got nice to go to Paris at the moment, I reckon. We live in France, you see, so directions. Start. I'm 4 hours away from Paris, so apparently I'm going there. Okay. I don't want to give you my address. This is one thing that really causes problems, and what I'll also do is I'll put my camera up as well. Sorry, press wrong buttons. See what happens with that, and then we'll check the temperature again. I'm sorry if I'm waffling on, but I just want to be thorough, so. Oh, so I've got the camera running, got the GPS running, Google Maps, navigation. The phone's a little warmer. Also, it's got to see the temperature's increased again. It's gone up to about 29, 31, 29, 39. It hasn't been going any more warmer than that, though, to be fair. So if I just go back onto the CPU monitor and see what happens with that. No, it seems okay. It seems okay. Anyway, I hope you found it of interest. It's a bit boring, really, I know, but it's just trying to prove, I suppose, that my little modification on the CPU, which I've done in a different video, has helped somewhat. So anyway, I hope you found that of interest, and if you'd be most kind and subscribe and that, and that might encourage me to put some more videos on of weird stuff. Thank you for watching.